My screen's frozen. Alright, the recorder is started. I'm just curious what you guys were able to get done and whether or not you figured out, first of all, the vertex for number 3. Was it done? No, that's okay. That's exactly why I figured some of you guys got stuck, which is perfect, because you realized, well, first of all, did you realize 2, 3 is your vertex?
Yeah.
Yes. Be careful. A few of you switched the sign, and I was able to catch some of the mistakes, and I'm hoping the groups were able to catch each other's. Why is it a positive 3? Plus 3, that's easy. Right? It's a positive 3 because it's plus 3. But why is it a positive 2?
Because it's in parentheses.
You switch the sign in the parentheses. Are we tracking? So then for number 4, what vertex should you have gotten? We're just starting with vertices. Negative 6, because it's just what's there. But on the inside, Hannah, Isaiah, I love the seats if they help you, but if you distract each other, it won't help. It's not a positive 5, it's a negative 5. Jerry, you say focus 2. Negative 5, negative 6. Now if we plot those points, we're supposed to go to the right 2 and up 3. Oh, wow, that's not even close. Right 2, up 3, there we go. And then left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's stop the extra comments. We don't really need them, okay?
Wait. How are you writing so low?
Well, don't I need to go negative 5?
Oh, no.
Negative 6?
I was talking about the marker.
Oh, because the orientation's off.
Oh.
The orientation's off. I'm going to fix it in just 1 second. But I'm trying to make sure that we all knew how to keep going. Some of us switched up the signs here. Are we okay on the vertices?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we graph the vertex. We have 1 point. But for parabola, we need a whole swoop. So what we were doing in class and what is written up here on the screen that some of you should have read and instead you just kind of got stuck. After you plot the vertex, we need 2 more points. Now, Alexis, you had a great question. What if it goes too high? We have one that goes too high. Just hold on. But we're trying to get 2 more points. If we get 2 more points, we can copy those on the other side, like the post-it that we did 2 days ago. And we have a great picture. If it goes too high, maybe we can only do 1 point and copy that 1 point and say, okay, it's good enough. I don't know. It's the best I can do. That's kind of the answer to your question, Alexis. But we need more points. Now, how do we get more points? Well, what's in the wording? But who do we plug in? It depends. Who do we plug in? It depends. Now, some of you started plugging in, and you weren't wrong with plugging in, it just didn't help. Why is it not a great idea to plug in 2? We already know that one. It's not bad, and if you got 3, you did perfect PEMDAS. But we already know that one. We already know what's going on at 2, so why not go 1 away and ask ourselves what's going on at 4 or 3? I would start at 3 just because it's closer. What's going on at 3? Now pause. When I say plug in, I'm plugging in here, but where else do I have to plug it in? The other x. So it's going to be 4, 3 minus 2. What do you have to remember to get to the legal y value? PEMDAS. You have to go carefully. Now question. Where should you have gone from this one to get another one? We're at negative 5. What's 1 to the right? You could have gone to negative 6, or you could have gone to negative 4. You don't want to go positive because that's way far away. But if you're at negative 5, I would, according to our rule, I would have gone to negative 4, but negative 6 would have also gotten you an extra point. You just needed to go 1 away and plug in. Why am I not plugging in 3? Well, because it's way over here. Who knows where the parabola is? Probably super far down or super high up. I just want to go 1 away. And so once again, I would plug in, but this time I would plug into this x, which would be negative 4 plus 5 squared minus 6. Now I'm going to reorient my screen so if you guys notice, like when I touch my marker, it's not in the right place at all. But can you write now on your paper, if you don't have these 2 written down, can you write them down and try to do the PEMDAS? Because I'm trying to find places that you will make mistakes. Tomorrow, we have a homework quiz on 8.4. If you use homework A and homework B and these practice worksheets to study, you guys should be ready to ace it. But right now, we're still making mistakes on things like PEMDAS or on graphing. Okay? So let's go ahead and, if you haven't done this yet, Jeremy, write it down, buddy. Come on. We need to plug in and find our points. We need to plug in and find our points. Let me orient my screen. As I do that, I want me to let Jeremy get it written down. Isaiah, what's your question?
Is the translation which says 5 2, is that like the same thing as by a factor of 2?
Yes.
Which the negative
I was just trying to make it a little bit easier, but factors are things that multiply together. Yeah, Jeremy. Oh, I put in -4 because the vertex was at -5. So if you go one step on a number line from -5, you're at -4.
Oh.
So remember, we just go one away and plug in. So one away from 1 away from 2 on a number line is 3, plug it in. 1 away from -5 is -4, plug it in. You see it? So the numbers are going to change, but the process is still the same. You're at the vertex, go 1 to the right, plug it in. Yeah, after you square it, the parentheses. Okay, let me orient real quick. Oh, be careful, AJ. Did you realize there was a negative on the outside? I think it should be a negative. Double check. I think there was a negative. Thanks, guys, for letting me orient this, because as you noticed, it was way off. So, PEMDAS. Ready? I'm going to do what I did yesterday because it worked really well. I'm going to say something like parentheses, and you tell me what happened when you did that, okay? Here, parentheses, which becomes a, okay, exponents, 1, multiply, and what's 4 plus 3? So I know the point, 3, 7. So Alexis, this was the problem, right? Because you go to 3 now, and then you go up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and all of a sudden, you're getting super high. So what I normally would have done, I normally would have said like, hey, let's keep going, and let's go ahead and say, we went to 3, that's great, but I need more of my parabola, let's go to 4. But if you plugged in 4, did anybody already do that and figure out what it is? You get like 19. Yeah. Anybody else get 19?
Yeah.
This only goes up to 10. You did the process, it just doesn't fit. So how can I use just 1 point to get a parabola? Jonathan, it's your turn. If you have 1 point on one side, what can you do? Copy it. So I could have plugged in 1, and some of you did, and you weren't wrong. But you could have just copied it and said, okay, go right 1 and up, and I can go left 1 and up. And my 19 is way too high, so for this one, Alexis, sometimes we just take what we got and go for it. Yeah. So the 19's up there, but I just can't show the point because that would be kind of ridiculous. So that's okay. I say to try to get 5 points, but you know what? If you have 1 on the right, 1 on the left, you actually have a pretty good picture. But this one, if I plug in, hold on, let me do it again. Parentheses, what happens?
1.
With a negative on the outside. Exponents. What's 1 squared? But I still have the negative. See it, Adrian? And then, what's -1 minus 6, or -1 plus -6? Okay, so I can do -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I graphed my vertex in the wrong spot. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got it. -4 is going to be at -7. Ooh, if I have a point on one side, what can I do? Yeah, I can copy it on the other. Now, right now, some of you might be like, I see it. Some of you might be like, I need some more. Well, if you need some more, we could go 1 more. We could plug in like a -3. Did anybody plug in a -3 following the system? No? I'll do it quick. If you plug in -3, we would do parentheses, which is 2. We would do exponents, which is 4. -4 minus 6 is -10. This one would barely fit on the graph. If I get 1 on one side, I can go 1 on the other side. And swoop, there it is. Question. If you were to label these graphs right now, not the points, that would take way too long and be way too tedious. That's back in like pre-algebra. But if you were to label them with the name of the function, who did we just graph? We graphed the point, but I don't want to label all the points. Let's take all day. Who's this entire thing? What's his name according to number 3's problem? description. What's his name? Huh? Danny, what'd you say? He's actually a quadratic. That's like a category. You guys not remember names? It's okay. His name is F. Why? F of X. In function notation, the little letter that's being used is the graph's name. So we graphed function F there, and we graphed function F here. But who did we not get to practice a lot yesterday? H. Where's H? Now those of you guys that were tracking really well yesterday, on number 1 you have 2 graphs instead of 1. For those of you that were only kind of paying attention, you only have 1 graph on number 1. But yesterday we technically did 2 graphs for number 1. Now I see a lot of you that only have 1 graph. Let's go back to number 1 from yesterday. How do I have 2 graphs on number 1? Some of you need to catch up right now. How do I have 2 graphs? This is my F. This is the one that we graphed with the vertex, and we plugged in points, and then we did this. There he is. But for H, yeah, Max, how did I get him? We replaced for X for this guy. We had to plug in points, but for H, actually, we did barely any work. We just, Danny, loud and clear. We just shifted it up. Because H says, start with the F, start with the original function, and just do the transformation. Outside, addition is shifting up, or we call it a vertical translation for, but we can say just shifting. You're shifting the entire graph up. So once you have F, all you need to do is look at this blank and say, what am I supposed to do? I have this guy. So take each point, and what did I do? I went up 1, 2, 3, 4. I went up 1, 2, 3, 4. I went up 1, 2, 3, 4. Up. Okay. All of you that didn't do that yesterday, do that right now. There's supposed to be 2 graphs on every single one. We've only done number 1 together. But for those of you that already have this, or once you shifted, and now you have 2, label 1 H and 1 F. Now go do number 2, because it should be easy. If you have the original graph, just do this to it to get H. Shift everybody right 5. Andrew, what's up? Oh, don't worry. We're going to do the vertical stretches and shrinks together, and that's why I'm not adding any new homework tonight besides just finishing 8-4. Yeah, the stretch and shrink is tricky, and that's why I figured we better take one more day in this section. So how did you shift this bottom guy? Number 2. How did you shift him right? Every point, right? So check it. If I go back to my steps, wherever they are. Oh, I moved them. I forgot. If I go back to my steps, which are right, I believe, here. Do you see how all of this top part, is just graphing my F of X? This is graphing F. And then how do I get, you guys even see how I'm color coding? How do I get, or how do I graph the second one? I just do whatever the transformation blank says, point by point. That's it. I just go point by point. So Max, go ahead and ask your question as I go ahead and shift mine right 5. Huh? Okay, let me get my graph guy wherever he is. Is this him? Yeah, this is him. All right, we're shifting right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, right? Otherwise, tomorrow, Andrew and Jeremy will switch. But let's try it for a little bit more today and see if we can stay there. I shift each one, right 5, right 5, right 5, right 5, label the F and label the H. Do you guys follow those directions? Now careful, I'm grading this tomorrow. I'm grading the practice sheets as well as the homework tomorrow. Technically, I'm grading all of it. Why? Today's just our finish everything up so that tonight you guys have seen it all, You've asked questions on it all. We've practiced it all. So you can bring me 8.4 tomorrow, and we just grade everything in 8.4. Okay? So you have the 8.4a homework from 2 nights ago that some of you started, maybe finished. The 8.4b homework from last night that some of you started, maybe finished. And then the practice worksheet. So I'm giving you grades based on what you're doing with me in class. How easy is that as long as you keep tracking with me? Yeah?
Easy.
Should be easy A's. Should be easy A's. Now, do you have to stay a little bit organized to have it all together in your notebook tomorrow to show me? Yeah. But just do it with me and you've got it done. Follow directions like, are you labeling your F's and H's? Follow directions like, don't just graph the original one, but also do the shifted one. But then, Andrew, your question was awesome a second ago. He's like, okay, I get the shiftings. Those are good. But what about the stretching and shrinking? So let's go figure out what's going on in 3 and 4. Sound good?
Yes.
So any questions on 1 and 2?
No.
Okay. Find the vertex. That's on the quiz tomorrow. Find the vertex from the equation. Graph a function. Do you know how to move one away and plug in? And then copy it? Yeah? And then there it is. But then say, ooh, what if there's this other guy? Do you know how the outside means you're shifting up or down and keep the sign? The inside means you're going right or left, but make it opposite. Are we good? So how about that stretch shrink thing? Nice thing is, for both of these, oh, you guys already graphed this. Didn't we graph both of these? Hold on, I have the wrong page. Where's my graph ones? Nope, that's 1 and 2. Where's 3 and 4? There's 3 and 4. Got them. Okay. So for our 3 and 4, let me bring this back down. Everything got out of order for some reason. Here he is. We have graphed F on both of them. But what do we need? H. We have on the outside, so it's vertical, it's an up-down stretching or shrinking. 2 is exactly what I think it is. I'm stretching it. It's on the outside. 1/3 is exactly what I think. I'm shrinking it. It's on the outside. But how do I do that? It's not as easy as shifting. You ready? I need you to visualize what if, ready? I need you to visualize what if we were to stretch this? Yeah. I need you to visualize what if we were to shrink this? Yeah. We're not just moving the points, we're actually condensing it, shrinking the y's, or we're stretching it, expanding the y's. Now, think of it this way. Ready? When you had your F a second ago, you went over 1 and up 4 from the vertex. Now, I know we went up to 7, so some of you counted from here, but some of you said, wait, I'm already at 3, let's go up 4 more. But if this gets stretched times 2, I'm not going to go over 1 up 4. Where am I going to go? Over 1 and up 8. Wait, does that make sense? He's totally right. If I'm stretching it times 2, I'm not going from my 3 to get to 7. I'm not going over 1 up 4. I'm going over 1 and up 8. I need to stretch it. And so this one going back and up, I'm not going up 4. I'm going up 8. And what happens is, I know it's weird, but it's going to be this little skinny inside dude. It gets stretched. Now it's hard to see, but I need to graph that over 1, up 8, and back 1, up 8, and there he is. Max. It's hard to see because he's really, you try to zoom in. Zoom in. There we go.
So the vertex.
So keep the vertex, and then make the movement that it was, but say, uh-oh, I need to multiply times 2. I'm going twice as high. So instead of going here, up 4 here, I need to go double that. So up 4 and up 4 more. Got him. Going back, going up 4. Nope, going up 4 more. Got him. And then I just didn't draw it super well. But this guy is going to go out, whereas that guy is going to be stretched up. He's going to be narrower and taller. Sean, am I losing you? Come on, buddy. It's 100% of the other still yeah? It is on the video. You can watch it tonight and fill it in then, but it's a lot easier. It'll save a lot of time if you do it now. Now, hold on. Shrink by a third. I only go a third as much? Okay, start at your vertex. Go find your vertex. You got it? Start at your vertex. Now, if you go over and down 1, wait, I'm not allowed to go that much. I can only go 1/3 of that. What's 1/3 of this distance, guys? Yeah, it's like, and I'm going to come over here, and instead of going one whole one, I'm only going to go 1/3 of that. Ugh, that one's confusing. But then let's take this distance. What distance do I go to get to the next point? Don't I have to go down 1, 2, 3? So instead of going down 3, what's 1/3 of 3? Just 1. I'm going to go just 1. So instead of going all the way down 3 and all the way down 3, I totally messed this up, aren't I? He's supposed to be over 1. Instead of going down 3, I'm only going to go down 1. Instead of going down 3, I'm only going to go down 1.
What?
He gets shrunk. He gets shrunk. So I'm going down 1/3 of the distance. Instead of going down the whole 3, I'm only going down 1. Instead of going down the whole 1, I'm only going down a third. Now, can we at least all admit that the shrinks and the stretches are harder than the shifts? You want me to tell you something nice? No shrinks or stretches. Graphing on the quiz table.
Oh.
No graphing. Now, maybe I want the words, but no graphing. I'm not going to make you graph. Because this whole 1/3 and doubling thing, like it kind of makes sense if you see it. Stretching makes it narrower. Shrinking is going to flatten it. But it's really hard to actually graph. So if you want to make a note to yourself right now, these H's, not on the quiz. So even though we got them, even though it's a little bit messy, but maybe to some of you it kind of makes sense, graphing, stretches, and shrinks will not be on the quiz. Max.
How do you get a vertical shrink times 1/3 again?
Oh, whenever we're not adding or subtracting, but we're multiplying here, it's always going to be either a stretch or a shrink. And since it's outside, it's not backwards what we think. It's just what we see. So if we're multiplying something by 2, we're like, oh, hey, we're doubling it. Stretching it. And if it's a 1/3, oh, hey, we're condensing it. We're shrinking.
Okay.
So it's kind of just like that times is showing us it's a stretch shrink. And if it's a bigger number, bigger than 1, then I'm stretching. And if it's something less than 1, like a half or 2/3 or 3/4, we're making it smaller. Is that cool?
Right.
Yeah. Isaiah.
How do you get 0.8 for the stretch for H on number 2? So you said times 2, so you went 4 times 2. How do you get 0.8?
Oh, because I saw the distance from the vertex to the next point. So instead of going like down here from 7, I just saw, okay, I'm supposed to be going a distance, an additional distance of 4. So then I said, oh, just double that additional distance. Yeah, there's that difference between the 3 and 7. Okay, now guys, to be honest, I think we kind of, even though it's a little bit messy and 3 and 4 got tricky, we kind of have 1 through 4 done, right? But what's still missing that we didn't get to yesterday? Okay. And that's perfect. We still have 10 minutes left, and this is exactly what I wanted to end with today, which is the end of 8.4. What if, now, hold on, we haven't taken notes on this. So we're going to do number 5. We're going to do number 6, but you might want to open up your notes to write yourselves a couple different clues about what we're about to do. So in your notes, still section 8.4, we're finishing it right now. What if you need to make the equation yourself? Look at 5. Look at 6. There's no equation. We're supposed to make it. Read the directions. Write a quadratic function in vertex form. Huh? Well, this one was 2 nights ago. This one was last night. If anybody didn't do 57, 59, I guess you're doing 3 problems tonight, but otherwise you're just making sure your worksheets are good to go. I'm not really sure that's a lot of homework. I think 3 problems is actually quite nice. And we're doing these together if we stay focused. Okay, this is the main point right here. We need to make it look like this. Okay? Do you have it written down in your notes? Do you have it written down on your worksheet? Have it written down somewhere, because that's what we need to make. Okay, y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. Y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. This is that vertex form that we've been seeing for multiple days now. Wait a minute, hold on. Didn't you guys just, most of you, maybe the signs got switched, but didn't you just rock the whole write the vertex thing like a whole second ago? You guys like that part. That's the easy part, is writing the vertex. The easy part is looking at an equation and getting the vertex. It's like, I know. He goes in the first spot, and he goes in the second spot, and then, okay, be careful of the signs. We got that. So if we're good at pulling a vertex out, maybe we'll be great at putting a vertex in. Huh. Does this say graph anywhere in the directions? Check it, 5 and 6. Does it say graph? We don't have to graph. There's no graphs on these. These should be nice ones that we want on the quiz tomorrow. Because, ready? If we go ahead and set up our little equation, we can set it up. We can start it just by using the form. All we have to do is fill in stuff. So hold on, wait a minute. What do we know about h just by looking at them giving us the vertex? H is, careful, h is the first guy. See it? H is 1. Oh, sweet. My equation's like 1/3 of the way done. Huh? Yeah. Today we're finishing 8 course. We're in our notes at the very end of 8 course. Look at your worksheet if you ever get lost. We're in 8 course. Okay, but wait a minute. What goes out here? Yeah? Oh, guys, this isn't bad. Check it. Oh, we're so close to being done. We're so close to being done. Now, we're not quite done, but can you guys go ahead and start the equation for number 6 then? Do the exact same thing. Use your form and put in your vertex. That's all I want you to do first. Use your form and put in your vertex. I'm going to go ahead and highlight what's missing. We're missing one thing. There's one more step we have to do, but man, we're so close to being done. Okay. Did you guys, well, hold on. Someone amazing. Come on, just read it off. You're confident. You know you did it right. Max, what'd you get? Good. Don't forget your parentheses squared, but yeah. Ooh. Do you guys agree with the +2?
No.
Okay.
-2.
You just got to keep them straight. It's hard. Yeah. On the inside, it's backwards. On the outside, it's exactly what it looks like. Okay? Inside, backwards, outside, exactly what it looks like. Now, hold on. Wait a minute. What have I highlighted in both of these if you put your vertex in? Who's missing? A. Oh, that's okay, though. What else do we have? We have a hint. We have a clue. Now, ready? Hold on. Whenever they give us a point, isn't this an x and isn't this a y? Right? And an x and a y? What do you think we should do as good algebra students if we have x's and y's and we're missing somebody? Plug it in, plug it in. Let's go find our a and then we're done. Y is going to go in the y spot. X is going to go in the x spot. And the directions are find A. And as soon as you find A, you can come back here, put them in, and you're done. Okay? No graphing, no crazy making up of points. Put in your vertex, step 1. Step 2, put in your X and Y. Get the A carefully. So can I go ahead and read off something like parentheses? You guys tell me what to do. Parentheses. 2. Exponents. 4. So it's going to be 4A. Can we do 2 steps at once? That might be a little crazy. Parentheses, 2 squared, 4. It's 4A, or A4, but we usually write the number in front. Can we solve this equation? Yeah. Subtract 8. Subtract 8. Don't we have 4 equals 4A? Divide 4, divide 4. What's my A? Got it. So if A equals 1, can't I come back here and say, I'm done. 1 times x minus 1 squared plus 8. Now, some of you know that the 1 doesn't really need to get written. You could have written it like that. It would have been just as correct. But yeah, A was 1, so go plug in. A is always 1. Always ignore. No, A can be all sorts of different things. So, can we finish off class by plugging in, finding A, and being done? Plug in your X, plug in your Y for number 6. You've finished this worksheet. Maybe you have to go back to 8.4, the first worksheet, if you guys didn't focus very well. Maybe you have to go back to the videos if you fell asleep at any point yesterday or today. But otherwise, if you've been keeping track, you can have 100% on these worksheets tomorrow. And all you gotta do is make sure your homework from the last 2 nights is ready to go. Sound good? And I'll be grading as you guys are taking the quiz. The quiz is going to look a lot like the worksheets, but shorter, not as long. I'm going to take a problem from here, a problem from there, change the numbers a little bit. That's the quiz. Sound good?
Yep.
I'm going to plug in my Y. I'm going to plug in my X. I'm going to do my PEMDAS. I'm going to make it look pretty. Ooh, is this a fraction?
Yeah.
Good. A equals 1/2. If that's true, come back here and say I'm done. Well, fill it in. Y equals 1/2 x minus 5 squared minus. This is how to do 57 through 59 to finish up your 8.4B. So what do you want tomorrow? You want to have finished your 8.4A, 8.4B homeworks. Have done your worksheets from all the work that we did together in class. If worst comes to worst, you can watch the videos and fill in. And I'm going to be grading and giving you guys points for all that hard work tomorrow as we take the homework quiz. We will grade the homework at the very beginning of class if you guys are still stuck. But hopefully these practice problems, the first day you guys were like, homework was awesome because we were able to look at the worksheet and it told us what to do. Hopefully that will help you finish up the other homework too. But we'll go over homework questions first, and then you guys will take the quiz as I'm going to collect all of your group work and grade it as you guys take the quiz. Sound good? All right. So 8.4 after today is done. After the quiz tomorrow, we're moving on to 8.5. There are 3 sections, 8.4, 8.5, and 9.2 before our next test, which I think is not next week, but a little bit into the next week. Sound good? All right, everybody talk to Keela, just let her know that I have worksheets for her and everything's online as far as the videos. She could actually kind of be like following through with us and maybe she won't be as behind when she comes back. If you guys need anything, come see me.